The air in aisle 5 always smelled faintly of disappointment and overripe bananas, but today, it was thick with pure, unadulterated rage. Leo, 17 and trying to save up for college textbooks, just wanted to correct the price tag on the organic kale. But before he could even grab the scanner, a manicured hand slammed onto the shelf right beside him. "Are you seriously telling me this is $8.99? $8.99 for a bunch of wilted leaves." The voice, high, sharp, and utterly devoid of indoor volume, ricocheted off the tiled floor. What on earth possessed her to think shouting at a high school student would fix the global economy, let alone the kale price? This was Brenda, or Karen as the staff whispered, and her main conflict with the universe seemed to be that she wasn't always right. Leo felt the familiar, hot flush creep up his neck. Just breathe, he coached himself, the subtle, high-pitched whir of the refrigerated dairy case his only soundtrack. "Ma'am, I apologize. It looks like the artisanal bundle was accidentally stocked here. I can honor the lower price listed for the regular kale, or I can check for the correct organic price up front." He offered a weak, practiced smile that felt glued to his face. He watched her eyes narrow, a microscopic movement, yet somehow as terrifying as a predator locking on its target. "No, you won't apologize. You'll simply admit that your store is run by incompetent children who can't perform the simplest task of inventory management. Honestly, I pay your salary with the sheer volume of my custom here. Who is your manager? I demand to speak to them right now." The sheer audacity. Leo took a slow, deliberate breath, the sigh escaping his lips sounding less like a professional courtesy and more like a deflating balloon. He was tired, so tired of the entitlement that hung in the suburban air like pollen in springtime. He opened his mouth to explain, again, but a new, deeper sound cut him off, the measured cadence of heavy-soled boots on the linoleum. Marcus, the store's resident security guard, appeared. Marcus was a large man, but unusually quiet, moving with the heavy grace of a mountain cat. He had a soothing, neutral presence that usually defused these small explosions. But today, Brenda seemed determined to turn the volume up to 11. "Ma'am, let's keep our voices down. The young man is trying to assist you." Marcus's voice was low, a steady rumble, but it only seemed to fuel Brenda's indignation. "You, don't you dare tell me how to address the incompetence around me." Brenda spun around, her expensive Italian leather bag swinging wildly. "Who do you think you are? Just some glorified mall cop in a polyester uniform? I bet you don't even have a college degree. I'm a local business owner. I run a highly successful wellness brand. Look me up. I know influential people, including my husband, who is a partner at Goldsmith, Finch and Associates. He'll have your job before the sun sets. Do you hear me? You're threatening a high-profile customer over kale." She spat the word out like it was poison. Leo flinched. The threat was real, he knew it. Marcus, though, didn't flinch. His expression remained utterly unreadable, a blank canvas of professional neutrality. That unsettling calm. That was the twist-foo in this little drama. Most guards would crumble or at least show annoyance. Marcus just stood there, observing, his stillness terrifying. "I hear you, ma'am," he replied, hands clasped loosely in front of him. "I understand you feel frustrated. However, your language and aggressive behavior are disrupting business operations and intimidating an employee." Intimidating him? He should be grateful I'm giving him a free lesson in customer service. You know what? I'm going to film this. I'm going to post this entire appalling interaction online and make sure corporate sees how you treat people who spend real money here. Brenda whipped out a pristine phone, the screen blindingly bright under the fluorescent lights. She shoved the phone aggressively toward Marcus's face, getting far too close. "Smile for the camera. Rent-a-cop. Say goodbye to your paycheck." It was the threat against his job, the explicit attempt to humiliate him on a public forum, that crossed the line. Leo held his breath, bracing for the inevitable retaliatory shout. a desperate cry for backup. But Marcus didn't raise his voice. He didn't even shift his feet. Instead, a profound, almost audible silence descended, swallowing the subtle sounds of the store, the rustle of a cart, the beep of a distant scanner. Marcus slowly, deliberately, reached to the side of his polyester jacket, and it wasn't a standard store radio he pulled out. It was a police radio, a heavy, government-issued piece of equipment. Then he adjusted something subtle beneath the collar of his uniform. Not a microphone, but a discreet body cam activation light that flashed once, a sharp, tiny blue flicker. "Ma'am, my name is Detective Marcus Jones. Badge number 441. I've been undercover here for the past 4 months, monitoring a high-value theft ring operating out of this retail sector, which involves the movement of certain." He paused, his voice now crisp, authoritative, and chillingly clear. "High-profile, non-essential goods. You have just threatened a law enforcement officer, obstructed an investigation, and committed multiple acts of harassment. You may also want to inform your husband, the one who is a partner at Goldsmith, Finch and Associates, that he's precisely the individual my investigation has been targeting." The second massive twist dropped like a sack of bricks. Brenda's face, moments ago contorted in fury, went slack, draining instantly of color. The phone slipped from her gasp-opened fingers and clattered to the floor with a pathetic thwack. Leo could practically smell the sudden, cold fear emanating from her. "What? No, this is a joke. I'm calling my lawyer. You can't do this," she stammered, her voice reduced to a thin, panicked squeak. "I can." "Marcus, no," Detective Jones said simply. He reached inside his jacket again, pulling out 2 standard-issue metal handcuffs. The sharp, mechanical click as he secured them around her wrists was the loudest, most satisfying sound Leo had ever heard in his life. The snap wasn't just metal meeting metal. It was justice finally meeting its due. A small crowd had gathered, shoppers frozen mid-reach for sourdough bread and organic apples, eyes wide. Leo felt a shiver run down his spine, but this time, it was relief, not fear. Brenda, the Karen, was being led away by a real police detective, her smug, entitled reign officially over, her threats utterly, deliciously inert. Didn't she understand that power comes from character, not a credit card limit? As Detective Jones guided the now weeping Brenda past the checkout aisles and toward the automatic doors, he paused and looked back at Leo, who was still standing next to the Kale. Detective Jones gave him a short, professional nod. "Thank you for maintaining your composure, son. You did a good job." Leo watched them leave, the automatic door swooping shut behind them. The stale, ordinary smell of floor cleaner and old fruit suddenly felt clean. Power is not defined by who you can shout at, but by the decency you maintain when someone shouts at you. Sometimes you just have to wait for the universe or an undercover cop to deliver the ultimate bitter lesson. The shift suddenly felt a lot shorter, and Leo realized he wouldn't mind stacking the organic kale after all. Justice, it seemed, was finally served, right here on aisle 5.